Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division Playoffs right here on Sports Gamer. My name is Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Mr. Sin, for the win. And Sin, today we cap off the opening round, the quarterfinals of these playoffs. 4 series, only one of them done here on this final day of coverage, so there's still a lot to be decided here tonight.
Absolutely. And this one, especially, with the best of 7 is now turned into officially a best of 3. HAVU Gaming winning the 2 games yesterday to battle their way back and tie this series up against SAWO Esports. It's really impressively done by HAVU, who have continued to get better and better as this kind of year has gone on, and now have a chance to make it into that second round, something that they failed to do last season when they took on Frölunda in the first round.
Absolutely. It's a big story for both of these teams falling short in round one. Of course, SAWO last season, the 2 seed, this time to the 3 seed against 6 seed HAVU, as we'll throw it over to the playoff bracket here and kind of show you what we're talking about as we head in to this final day of coverage. As mentioned, or at least as referenced, for Lunda, the only team thus far to complete a sweep as they eliminated Roots Gaming yesterday. Heading into today, well, again, our main coverage is with SAWO and HAVU because the other 2 series that we started our coverage with yesterday both have a 3-0 split. H-Reds up on Conquer Gaming and Goons up on Örebro Hockey. So if those series were to go the distance, perhaps, or if we start to see it kind of trend in that direction, we might be able to pick up our coverage. But certainly, Sin, our main focus is that battle of 3 and 6. As you see there, just how close the games were for the first couple of games of the series. But yesterday, a 5-1 and a 3-1 win for HAVU, like you said, kind of opening the door back up for them to get into the series.
Absolutely, and it kind of sort of highlights a trend so far for Sabo is a lack of goal scoring in the playoffs. They've, 2 goals for in overtime, then 1 goal for and 1 goal for. That's simply not going to be enough to close out a series. And if we think back to kind of what they tried to do against Granite last season, it's kind of a similar story where they just simply their system wasn't quite able to get the job done, and we'll have to see what kind of adjustments they make today. But HAVU certainly made the adjustments necessary to battle their way back, and they definitely found that goal-scoring touch.
That they did. So again, we will see what happens. All 3 of the remaining series will be decided today as we wrap up our quarter of final coverage, of course, heading into next week with the semifinals and all of this in leading to the finals. Of course, more information on that coming up later on in the broadcast. But for now, we see the direct comparison here for these stats in the playoffs thus far. Special teams obviously on the side of SAWO, but not really translating to success yesterday.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like the numbers look good on the special team side of things, but it's that glaring goals for, I think, that really does it for me. 4 games played, just the 6 goals for. Again, that's simply not going to be good enough, and that's kind of a night and day difference for them when it comes to the regular season. They had the 3rd most goals for per game with 2.87. They're averaging just over 1 right now. I think it'd be 1.25 or 1.5 if I'm doing quick maths real quick. But yeah, either way, it's just simply not going to be enough. And for HAVU, despite starting off 0-2, they kept each game close, and they finally rewarded themselves by able to find that goal scoring. And that's the exact reason they were able to tie this series up. And if it continues to trend in that direction, if SAWO can't make the adjustments, could easily see HAVU moving on to the next round quickly.
Absolutely. So as we get ready to bring game 5 to you, before that, of course, we got to set the stage with these lineups. These are the 12 taking to the ice in this matchup tonight for HAVU: Pawanso, Dominointi, and Vilikun, Nasistelius, Sibelius, and Hans Selenium in goal. Of course, on the other side, Yerska, Mojavatu, Tombo and Tamo on defense, and Nike between the pipes. They are the same 12 that have played every single game of this series so far, and for the most part, played every single game of the regular season as well. These 2 teams at full strength for this closing out of this series here. We'll start off with that center comparison, of course, Moja and Dominointi. And Sin, certainly a big story for SAWO so far. It's been very one-sided for this matchup, and they need more out of Moja here.
Absolutely. He did, fine during the regular season. 47 points in 30 games played was great. He had a positive face-off percentage, not as much as the two wingers had, but that being said, he was still a production guy. But yeah, in 4 games, 1 assist, and that's it. No goals even. Like, that's just, I think you hit it. Like, it's just not going to be enough here in this series. Dominointi being at point per game in the playoffs, that's, I think, exactly where you want to be as the competition kind of stiffens up here. So going to be definitely looking towards Moja to kind of step up his play here in these next few games.
Absolutely. So we look forward to seeing kind of what happens between those two. But the winger matchup here, this is where the offense has been coming from the SAWO side of things. And obviously, too, for HAVU, they've really stepped up with Polanco and Vilikun. Yerskavatu, both at a point per game. But in a sense, and we almost expect more out of the two of them and what they've been able to accomplish, in the past 2 regular seasons, especially.
Yeah, definitely. And Vilikun, what a series it's been for him so far. 5 goals in 4 games played. He must have got a few yesterday because I only remember him having, I think, 1 in the previous day's coverage. So he really had a day yesterday for himself. And of course, Polanco doing his thing. Yeah, both their point totals exactly where you want to be. And yeah, like, point per game isn't bad for Yerska and Vatu, but again, with what they did in the regular season, what this team did, you're kind of wondering is what is happening to this team in the playoffs where it's almost seemingly when you want to take a step forward, they're taking a step back here.
Absolutely. We'll move over to the defensive comparison next. Again, for HAVU with Nasustelia and Sibelius, Tombu and Temu on the other side. Send that 1 goal for Tombu, a late winner, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm a little bit surprised here. Just the 2 goals combined from these 4 when there's certainly a potential for more. But in general, the point total is where you want them to be. It's an interesting matchup so far.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think in this one, I'm going to be really kind of looking towards Temu to be really a difference maker. He's already done that. He's got 5 assists in 4 games played, 13 hits, which is, miles ahead of anyone else, doubling the next defenseman on this roster. He's a guy that when he wants to, he could kind of take control of a game. And I think you're going to see that here from SAWO. And maybe the rest of SAWO need that example, someone to step up and kind of, push them to that next level. I think we could be seeing that from Temu here as, he's very used to these kind of clutch situations and situations that are, becoming kind of must win and, ways that you want to send a message to push your team.
I mean, he has that experience. That's why they brought him in. Our final head-to-head, and if this doesn't speak to what this matchup has been so far, I don't know what does. Hans Solinho, absolutely fantastic. And Nikkei has been, through 4 games, a different person. I don't know if he has a little brother that he handed the controller to. I don't know what's going on with that, but his reputation is far, far greater than that save percentage we've seen so far. It might just go to show, Sin, and oftentimes you see a lower save percentage like that, not seeing as many shots and not able to stop that many out of the few that you're seeing. Regardless, just stunning numbers through 4 games.
Yeah, and that's kind of the theme across the lineup for SAWO. It's what is happening. This isn't the team that we're used to seeing in the regular season. And, part of it might be that this is no longer the regular season. This is the playoffs. And again, you hate to kind of bring that up again, but it's kind of the narrative being formed around SAWO. You saw last season they, got upset by a much lower seed, and here they are, the higher seed once again, not as large of a gap, 3-6 instead of 2-7, but at the same time, they're failing to, kind of be able to close out a series. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead. They let HAVU climb right back in, and HAVU has really been firing on all cylinders. There's just simply too much experience on that HAVU roster to give them this sort of breath of life here. And I really think that, if SAWO don't turn this around, that they are in heaps of trouble.
They have a lot to prove. We know that HAVU, as you said, started off this season kind of slow, but similar to the playoffs and what we've seen here, they kind of grow into it, get their footing underneath them, and you see where they end up from there. For SAWO, though, all the pressure in the world. We deem this in our preview show maybe the most important matchup that we have here. Again, for HAVU trying to prove that they're still among the best of the best, SAWO needing to prove that they're in that same class after not being able to take advantage of a very high points finish last season. Similar story this time out. If they fall here, kind of what's next for them if that addition of Temu wasn't enough to push them forward. So much to play for. It is essentially a best of 3 from this point on. SAWO, we're up 2-0. They are no longer in that situation. HAVU have made this a series. A reminder there you see on your screen of what these two teams are playing for, as well as everyone else, of course. It's the first time we've had our new split season format. H-Reds winning the winter season. They'll take on the winner of the spring season, unless they win this season as well, in which case they would crown themselves grand champions and walk away with that 10K euro prize pool. If there is a different winner, they will play H-Reds for that prize. So again, so much to play for. All of that leading up to June 17th and 18th, our 2-day event covering the spring season finals live in Helsinki. If there is a grand final, it'll be on Sunday the 19th as well. So a very important 3 days that we are looking forward to here. As you know, again, today we close out the opening round. It's been a 3-day sprint to get through this opening round. Today we find out who the final 4 will be. A reminder, though, as always, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need, not only on everything, of course, that we're covering here, our pro division and more, but also the Wilhelm e-Hockey Tour with stops every single weekend. So make sure to check out all the information on that you may need. Sin, Game 5. Let's see how this one plays out. What are you expecting here as we get this matchup underway?
I'm expecting HAVU to try to kind of pounce on SAWO. I think we may be seeing a bit of nerves from SAWO. They can't be happy about how they kind of, let this slip away here. And a quick start from HAVU would be detrimental to them. But here they are in the zone.
SAWO, of course, in their home black and yellow. HAVU and those road white and green as well. And a good shot on net early on, forcing the save from Nikkei. He needs a big night tonight to get momentum back on his team's side. Finished with the top save percentage, one of the highest, if not the highest, we've ever seen back in our winter season. I believe it was 3rd in the league in save percentage this year. That highest save percentage in the regular season belonging to FaZe of H-Reds. So I thought we were going to see another dump and chase attempt, and I think that's what he was going for. Tombu will settle this one down. We might just see that slow and steady approach, the more cautious approach from both of these two teams. Walk over to the half wall, recovered by Yerska and picked off by Polanco. Feed from Nasistelia over to Dominointi. The back pressure, though, from Yerska as well. And Sim, we've talked about that style of player, the Nicky Dangles, the Pika Rogers. Yerska very much in that class as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it's an interesting point that you brought up, like what kind of game style that we're going to see. When we think back to SAWO's success in that first one, it was a very aggressive forecheck as HAVU tried to slow things down. And from earlier on, we're seeing SAWO kind of resetting on their own, and they're giving HAVU time to kind of set up. And looks like HAVU has adjusted on their breakout. They're trying to break it out a lot quicker in that regard. There's a nice out right there, but fortunately, again, for HAVU, the layers of defense coming into play here. But I think right now, SAWO is sort of playing into the game that HAVU wants to play.
Let's see who blinks first. That first goal, always important in a playoff game. With this style, perhaps no more important moment in a series than this. Of course, we saw SAWO, I believe, score the first goal twice in the first 2 games of this series back on Monday. A little bit of space here for Dominointi. Now goes backhand, stopped by Nikkei. Puck still alive. Polanco finds its way to Sibelius. Dominointi again. He turns it over. Vatu, a lot of speed down the ice. Back for Yerska and across. That one just missing high. Thought there was going to be a wraparound bid. Good chance for Yerska on the backhand in front. And a big save from Hanselinho.
Yeah, a couple saves being exchanged by Nikkei and Hanselinho right there. Is this game beginning to pick up pace?
And working on the left-hand side. Polanco tried to sneak it back to Dominointi. Captain Tombu able to read it well. Billy Kuhn now. Again back to the point for Sibelius. His shot blocked. Vatu recovers that loose puck. 4.5 minutes to play in the first period of Game 5. Now Stelia trying to fend off that attacking pressure. Yerska's shot blocked. Second chance. Vatu there as well. And Hanselinho stands tall. Great positioning by the goalkeeper.
Absolutely. That's just vintage Hanselinho right there. Just incredibly calm. No semblance of panic right there. Makes the first save, shifts over ever so slightly to take away the rebound.
Another shot by Yerska, stop from point-blank range. SAWO out of nowhere generating these great scoring chances. Anselino able to keep them off the board for now. This will go down for an icing here in the final 2.5 minutes of this opening period.
Really good start here for SAWO. HAVU's had a couple chances, but in the last few minutes, it's really all been SAWO here as they continue to push and test Anselino. So far, he's been up to the task.
Outlet pass here for Villikun. Again, now it's Dominoiti. He tried to go across for Polanco. Good poke check to break that up. Forechecking to win it back. Dominoiti, patience from the centerman. Again, working it with Sibelius at the point. He's going to come up with this puck. He answers Polanco. Final 30 seconds. D to D. One-timer goes through, but just misses. Dominoiti again. Get that in front. Good layers in defense. Final few seconds. Polanco, short side bit doesn't go. Wanted the wraparound, but it's knocked loose as time expires. A frantic 20 minutes. Good saves from both netminders here to keep the opposing offenses off the board.
Yeah, but perhaps, Anselino with a bit more of the spectacular saves right there. We saw that one big save coming out from Nikkei when Dominoiti sort of got that partial breakaway, but Nikkei kind of almost slid out of position on that play as, his defense did have that sort of forehand covered if Dominoiti tried to go back to that, and so he kind of should have stuck more on the backhand. So not too sure if that's kind of just some of the nerves coming out from Nikkei here, but we saw none of that in the way of Anselino. He was in perfect position, never really overslid. That's the play right there that we were sort of talking about. You can see how the forehand was cut off. He had to go to the backhand. You almost saw Nikkei sort of sliding back towards the forehand side right there. Still made the save, but kind of just wondering about that positioning choice from him, if that just kind of goes to show a little bit of nerves, a little bit of mistrust in the defense. But in the rest of the period, SAWO, they were doing a great job clogging up the middle. HAVU simply could not get to that slot area, which is exactly how SAWO wants to play defense here. And that'll help out Nikkei quite a bit. Interesting game so far here. A lot of back and forth action. We'll see if any teams either get the edge here in this second.
Indeed, second period underway again. Game 5 in this opening round playoff matchup. Winner moves on to our final four. Here is Moshe. He has that knocked away. Both of these teams losing in round 1 of our winter season. One of them will fall short yet again. SAWO a 2-0 series lead after their first 2 games on Monday. HAVU tying it up yesterday. Of course, off broadcast, we were covering other series, but it does set the stage for this. Sibelius has it. And spent the last couple of seasons as a tandem with Anselino. Steps up to defense. Risky pass there. And certainly HAVU will take an offside as opposed to what else could have happened on that play.
Yeah, fortunate right there for Sibelius. I'm not too sure if that's who he was aiming for, but he just didn't quite read that Vatu, I think, was right there lurking. And that could have easily been a 2-on-1 or perhaps a breakaway going the other way.
Fight for the puck again in the neutral zone. Jurska just hounding Dominoiti, trying to win that puck back. Sestelia now head of steam down the other way. HAVU in the zone. And down low for Polanco. He is the setup man. Sestelia to the point. That shot blocked by Jurska. Polanco again. Trouble there. Great move by Sestelia to avoid the pressure. He pulls the trigger on the shot. Good save by Nikkei.
Such a veteran move from Sestelia. It could be so dangerous, but he just kind of held up right there. Trusted that Vatu would miss. And he's able to make a nice play, so they get a shot down low.
Stared down the charging bull that was in front of him. Came out the winner in that exchange. Polanco down low. Let's see what he can do. Good pressure there by the defense. Now Sestelia at the point one more time, and again, Polanco can't pick that up. That puck just bounced over him. Offside there, and only 9 minutes to go. We're already halfway through the second period.
That's kind of flown by here. The pace is not as frantic as it was at times in that first period, but still kind of a lot going on. You're just sort of seeing HAVU trying to play kind of almost a chess match against the defense of SAWO right now. They're really trying to find a way where they can get towards that middle, but this is kind of the SAWO that we're more used to seeing, a team that will completely keep you to the outside and limit your chances to, those those perimeter shots and maybe being able to crash the net for the rebound. But that can be tough with, such a good collapsing team. They can often be the first one there and get, positive body positioning. So to see what SAWO, what kind of adjustment that that HAVU, what kind of adjustment that they're going to be looking to make here to be able to kind of get behind that.
SAWO in possession here. Having trouble on this breakout. 7.5 minutes to play here in this period. SAWO just trying to drive that one past Hanselinho. Here's Villikun now. So hold on to it. SAWO starting to get some momentum now in their favor. Bambu able to dump that one in. Pass off the mark. No icing though. So we hit 5 minutes to play. Teemu on goal. Hanselinho sends it right back over the top. Villikun. See where he can go. Again, looks to go behind the net for Powanza. Back for Villikun. Wrap around. Didn't get all of it. And Nike is able to make the cover.
Yeah, it might be the kind of looks that they're going to have to kind of go for because those short side plays aren't necessarily there. The slot is for sure not there. And even when they kick it back to the point, there's always the danger of Jurska or Vatu being able to block those shots. SAWO's really on their game right now.
Off the face-off, though, unable to hold on to the puck. SAWO again trying to break in. HAVU doing a good job of shutting down the line. Much closer game than what we had seen, at least as the final scores would indicate from yesterday's game. Here's Dominoiti again. Can't pull the trigger. Villikun's opportunity doesn't go. We approach the final minute here of the second. Still looking for the opening goal. That one gets through. Powanzo took a little bit too long to try to roll that one to the forehand. Couldn't get that shot off. As Jurska will send it all the way down. One more attempt here for SAWO at the end of the period. HAVU with the puck. And that will do it. 40 minutes gone of the 60s worth of regulation. Still looking for that opening goal.
Yeah, it's kind of just been the goalie show for the most part. Not too many dangerous chances as there were in that first period, but nonetheless, have to make some saves. And yeah, we're just kind of still waiting for that team to sort of find the breakthrough. The defense from both of these sides has just been phenomenal so far. Neutral zone, defensive zone, all the way across. And HAVU has all that time and attack, but just the 7 registered shots with it, they just simply can't get to the locations that they want to get to. And we've seen this kind of play from SAWO before in the past. I think actually, I want to actually say when they played HAVU in the regular season last season, they had games like this where HAVU dominated. Just straight up dominated the possession, but it was SAWO who were able to win those games from their counterattack and just quick strike ability and keeping HAVU to the outside. So this seems to be the recipe for success that SAWO want to go for as we take a look into H-Reds against Concord Gaming. Here you see H-Reds up 1-0 here into the second.
Absolutely, and again, my understanding as well, Örebro GOONS tied at 1 apiece right now. Continue to try to bring coverage of those series for as long as they last, both with a 3-0 split as Sibelius' backhand goes wide. So to the point, who will have the advantage heading into Game 6? Be here for as long as is necessary with the series. And again, HAVU get caught. Vatu, does he have the space? Spin move, backhand just wide. Bambu at the point. Teemu back down low. Getting a little bit more zone time for SAWO, but that pass off the mark erases any progress they were making.
Absolutely. That was a great play on the points right there as Nasosteli and Sibelius got a little too careless with it. And that's the only danger of passing back to the point with those wingers. They can pressure you quickly.
Vatu just able to keep that one in momentarily. Dominoiti for Powanzo, maybe a bit of an ill-advised pass. They still have possession. Sibelius, Nasostelia, good block by Vatu. Dominoiti wanted Powanzo. Vatu again making the play in the defensive zone. I mentioned Jurska and how he's joined that kind of class of top-flight wingers. I mean, both SAWO wingers in that category is unbelievably dangerous offensive threats, but also with incredibly strong two-way games. SAWO will be forced to reset here. It's Moja down low for Jurska. Stelia just not able to handle that puck, and an offside call as a result, as H-Reds Sin have gone up 2-0 with just a few seconds left in the second period, so Conquer Gaming might be due up to play their last period of the season.
Yeah, unfortunate situation for them having to play H-Reds, and keep thinking back to that game too where they got so close in overtime, and unfortunately for them, we know what happened with that game-winning goal. It could have been perhaps a bit of a different series outlook had that gone in for them.
An own goal of downright depressing proportions there, as no one really did anything wrong. But in overtime, hey, that's how it often goes. If a game's close, someone's going to get a goal like that. Unfortunate side of things. We have 8.5 minutes to play here in regulation of Game 5. So we're certainly getting down to that moment where first goal is going to win this thing.
Absolutely, and that's just kind of how it's kind of, that vibe has just sort of grown as this game has gone on. You've seen just a staunch defensive efforts from both of these teams, and you see just so few mistakes being made and so few chances being taken as well. A lot of kind of more safe plays here because you see SAWO getting aggressive.
Before checking pressure, that one rings off the post. Hanselinho having trouble covering it. He went for the dive, and a backhand from Mozia does not go. Here's Nasu Stelia, head of steam. Gonna throw his arm out of socket. 6 minutes now. Nervous energy here for both teams. It's Vatu down low for Mozia. Back again, they work it to the point. That shot blocked down. Billikun has it. Dangerous area, though. So those forecheckers still hanging around the offensive zone. They back off for the moment. Pass off the mark as this period's gone on. SAWO has dictated the pace.
Yeah, and they're holding that blue line down, and HAVU has all but abandoned the dump and chase, which was giving them some success a bit earlier.
This one knocked loose. Yurska sends it all the way around. We have a penalty coming up against HAVU, as Mozia holds it in the corner. Extra attacker is going to be coming out here. As Vatu for Yurska. He scores! Who needs a power play when you can put it through 3 defenders and into that low side corner? SAWO on the board.
Huge goal coming out there from SAWO. They kept buying time, partially to get Nikkei on the ice, but I think also partially they wanted to wind down time to kind of make the power play the last bit that would be played in that one, trying to get it down to that 2-minute mark on the clock. And as you said, not needed right there. Yurska rips one from the very high slot. It goes in 1-0 now, and HAVU got to be in desperation mode. Here comes the dump and chase.
Final 2 minutes. Can they tie it? Crazier things have happened. SAWO might not be done. That one just wide on the glove side. Final minute of play here for HAVU Gaming to try to find this tying goal. As Billikun gets it down for Dominoiti. Picked off by Vatu. Down the other way. Turned over. No, Billikun now. Back into the attacking zone. Dominoiti around for Pawanso. Wanted that short side. Temu gets the feed up to Yurska. Has a couple of options. Elects to bring it into the corner. We approach 30 seconds left here. Will that shot from Yurska hold up as the winner? Hanselinho heading to the bench. Pawanso for now. Stelia back now. Pawanso, that shot. Loose puck. Out of the reach of Billikun. Puck cleared down. Now Stelia couldn't get it. SAWO will retreat. Final 10 seconds. One more rush here. Dominoiti for Billikun. Nasu Stelia can't pull the trigger on the shot. SAWO ESPORTS will have the series lead 3-2 heading into Game 6.
Huge game right there for SAWO to be able to pull off. Kind of got back to the strategy that had been working to them versus HAVU, something that they probably got away from in that games 3 and 4, and come back here in Game 5 and get a huge win, a shutout for Nikkei. Definitely needed that to help out his stat line a bit, and bit of a heartbreaker for HAVU there. They simply couldn't find a way to get a goal there. They couldn't get to the areas that they wanted to get. There's such a good job of collapsing in the zone by SAWO and shutting down the blue line when they needed to as well. Kind of picture perfect from them, and it's been so often what they've been able to do, weather the storm, kind of get out possessed, maybe even outshot, but they get the chances that they need, either from trying to force those turnovers, on the points, or As we saw, just kind of, on a delayed penalty, making the most out of the chances that they get. That's kind of the SAWO bread and butter. They take a 3-2 series lead now and are 1 win away from advancing to the semifinals.
A big result, to say the least. An incredibly close and competitive game, but it is SAWO, the lone goal to look at here, as Yerska gets to where he wants to get. And again, the traffic just gets that shot off in time, catches Hanselino making the adjustment. Close game. 1 goal, again, the difference maker. As we take a look here, third period, Örebro and GOONS. Again, GOONS up 3-0 in that series as well. Could be the last period of play for Örebro, who, game 3, we saw it yesterday. They were blown out 8-0 in that contest. So certainly keeping this game a little bit closer. But all things considered, again, that series still on the back burner for us here in terms of coverage compared to this. Again, SAWO head into game 6 now with a chance to close out this series. We'll see if they can do so. We'll throw it over to a quick word from our sponsors, and we will be back for what could be the final game of this. All right, everybody, we are back. Again, a big thank you to Wilhelm, Kovan Lakutsi, and ST Hockey. Sin, a huge win for SAWO Esports, again, on the final day of coverage here in the opening round, our quarterfinals of this postseason. SAWO with chance now to end this series, as, again, we've been keeping an eye on the other 2 ongoing series as well. Of course, again, GOONS, a 3-0 series lead over Örebro, and H-Reds, I do believe, actually, no, there you go. Örebro have a lead in their game, and there you see in the final 30 seconds of Conquer Gaming's season. A really great season for them. I mean, again, to make the playoffs when the vast majority of people were saying you're going to be relegated, that's an incredible accomplishment. Unfortunately for them, they go up against H-Reds, the 2-time defending champions, who will be punching their ticket to the second round.
Yeah, and you can just see probably what the issue has been for them in this game. Just simply can't cross the blue line when H-Reds don't want to let you across. And it's so difficult there. And with 2 goals to make up and only about 10 seconds left, yeah, just it's the end of the line for Conquer Gaming, unfortunately.
A big step forward, though, for that club, as, again, they go from a relegation fodder to, being in that position of a playoff caliber team, especially making it over numerous teams that have elite division playoff experience, such as a Färjestad, who, of course, were the last team out. So there it is. Conquer Gaming season officially done. H-Reds move on to the Final Four, but we don't yet know who they'll be playing. They will be playing, if I'm not mistaken, of course, in the lower seed that advances. So if HAVU makes it, then we know that particular matchup. But, if SAWO moves forward, then we're looking at likely a GOONS H-Reds second round matchup, which would set up SAWO and Frölunda. I mean, again, so much still to be decided here. Regardless, the Final Four matchups are going to be interesting. The question is, will it be SAWO, or can H-Reds, can HAVU force a game 7 and keep that dream of playing H-Reds alive? That might be more of a nightmare for them. But here we go. It is game 6. SAWO in their road unis, HAVU at home, and taking a penalty less than a minute and a half into the game.
Definitely not the start that HAVU's going to look for, so they'll be forced to kill a penalty off early in this one, maybe, unless SAWO can score it on the delay call once again here. And they're definitely looking for it. They got Nikkei out and gaining the line.
You mentioned it, of course, it was the delayed call when they managed to score last time. Win that game. Yes, indeed, Billy Kuhn will be going to the box here. On the tripping call, opens up the window of opportunity for SAWO very early on. After winning game 5, final score in that one, 1-0. Off a Yerska winner in the final 2 to 3 minutes of regulation. Will we see a different story here? Will that extra day between games pay off? He does it again! What a snipe from Yerska, glove side. 1-0 SAWO off the power play goal.
Dangerous man advantage for SAWO, man. I mean, off the delayed call in this one, so similar. Yerska just kind of crossed the middle. This time goes glove, and that was a very wicked wrister right there to beat Hanselino in an early 1-0 lead for SAWO, and definitely not what HAVU needed or wanted in this game, where they didn't score a single goal and really kind of struggled to get those quality chances. They're going back to the box. Bit of a careless poke by Puanzo there with an L skater in the middle, and oh no, this could be going from bad to worse right now for HAVU. We've got to try to settle down here, get their nerves back in check, and just kill this off.
Strong as they were yesterday to tie this series up at 2 apiece, they failed to score in Game 1. What was the first game of this broadcast? Of course, that was Game 5, and now here in Game 6, they give up the early power play goal and have another one to kill off here. As SAWO, an extra bit of preparation heading into this broadcast might have just paid off to get the momentum back on their side. Nikkei quickly plays that one back up. And SAWO going to look to get that offense going. Yerska picked the corner just a few minutes ago, and they do it again! It's Vatu! Gets the snipe! 2-0 SAWO here in the first period of Game 6. Back-to-back power play goals.
Absolutely deadly here. The only kind of silver lining here, or light at the end of the tunnel for HAVU, is that this is happening so early. But that being said, 2 penalties, 2 goals. I mean, yeah, that's just not exactly what you want to see on the side of HAVU. As we see that Örebro did fight back and win 1 game there against GOONS.
Indeed, that series going to a 5th game.
Oh, no.
There is another penalty on HAVU, their 3rd in less than 5 minutes, as Sibelius is going to go for a trip. It is crumbling here for HAVU.
I don't know what to say in this case. I don't think we've ever kind of seen something like this before, and for HAVU, you're already 0 for 2 on your penalty kill, and you just take another one right here. This could be an early dagger with the way SAWO's playing defense.
You know, Game 5 coming up now for Örebro and GOONS. We might have to join that one in coverage. As right now, HAVU need to figure something out to get this game back under control at risk of giving up a 3rd power play goal. That one just wide for Yerska. So close, and what a keep there by the captain, Tombu. HAVU in a load of trouble here as Mosia tried to get that one in front. Here's Vatu, 35 to go on the power play. Good D-to-D work. They wanted Vatu for that snipe bid, and that one cleared out by Viliku.
Finally, the adjustment made by HAVU to kind of prevent that from happening, that crossing winger in the high slot, but maybe too little too late. Already a 2-goal game, 2-goal lead for SAWO here, and I mean, HAVU been really struggling to find those quality offensive chances right now, struggling just to gain that blue line. You can see some frustration coming out as well. They are not happy with their start right here after such a close game, and the last one just failing to score, and find themselves in a 2-goal deficit here in the first.
SAWO 2 for 3 on the power play in less than 8 minutes into the game. They win. They move on to play for Lunda in round 2. HAVU win. We have a Game 7 coming up in a few minutes. Long road back here for HAVU. Self-inflicted wounds. Goals for each of the SAWO wingers. Alonso shot stopped by Nikkei. And again, we saw that low save percentage for Nikkei after the first 4 games of this series. Obviously, they got some good opportunities in that 5th game. They need to do even better here in Game 6. Now, Stelia can't keep this one in the zone. Another offside call here.
Yeah, and this is kind of the trouble of HAVU, that especially we saw in the last one. SAWO came with the mentality in mind that they're just going to shut things down and try to win those tight games, because I think when things open up against a team like HAVU, that's where, SAWO maybe perhaps doesn't want to play if you kind of let them get the controlled type game that they want and open things up in that way, like we know HAVU loves to do. That's just not going to be in good shape for SAWO. We know they like to collapse and then pressure those points, and then when they can, get their forecheck going. But they simply, weren't able to do that perhaps in games 3 and 4. They were able to do that in this last one. They just slowly but surely grinded HAVU down until they're able to get that go-ahead goal.
Still 2-0 here. 6.5 to play in the first period. HAVU give up those 2 incredibly early power play goals. Vilikun has this one down low. Pawansa. Back to the point. Now Stelia playing with fire there. Sibelius can't get that shot through. Need to find a way to generate more consistently dangerous offensive chances. Huge hit there by Yerska. SAWO back into the attacking end. Move for Teemu. Back down. Miscommunication there for SAWO. Leads to HAVU getting it back. 3 minutes left in the first. Dominoite to the point. Sibelius, now Stelia back to him again. Blocked. SAWO all over those with that heavy collapse in front of goal. Dominoite again. Unfortunately, Sin, I think here for HAVU, we know that they like to be meticulous and methodical. That was a good chance. I think they got to be a little bit quicker to not allow SAWO to get set up in their defensive structure, as Hanselinho forced to cover that with 13 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. They're not being able to dictate the pace of play because SAWO is completely blocking them from the areas that they want. Those D-to-D one-timers, if they're too slow to get off the sticks, that collapse is going to be able to get in front of them. If they take too much time on the point, the wingers are going to pressure them. Couple
Great
shots there.
One more chance, perhaps. Scores with .2 on the clock. Villikun gets one back for HAVU Gaming, and needless to say, the tone has changed heading into the second period.
What a little move by Villikun, kind of L-skating towards the middle to open up the angle. A quick slap shot, just flat out beaks Nikke on that glove side after nearly a goal on the other end. A couple in-tight shots from HAVU Gaming where it happened so quick and it looked like it could have been a goal. Tugi and I were both struggling to get a word in over each other, and somehow with the remaining seconds, HAVU go back the other way after that and score a goal. That was desperately needed. Absolutely desperately needed right there. Cutting that deficit in half, giving themselves a bit of life heading into the next period.
An absolutely gigantic goal. It can be almost no later than that. .2 on the clock to get HAVU on the board and back into this game. As we'll get a look here again, the big save by Hanselinho gets another one off of that pad. And then quickly down the other way, watch this little cut in. Fantastic move, lightning quick, totally caught Nikke off guard.
Absolutely. You can see how much he was going back to the middle. He had the angle cut off initially, but, you know, when you're looking at the play like that, you're not necessarily looking at the clock. You know that there's only a couple seconds left, but you still maybe have to adjust to that middle to cover that potential pass, and Villikun just rifled that to the short side and got rewarded.
And just like that, we start the second period with a 2-1 series lead now for SAWO. HAVU have done a great job of battling back in this series. See if they can find that tying goal. Dominoite has it down low, knocked loose. Palazzo fighting for it now as well. Good crucial pickup there by Teemu. An offside call there. What a goal that could be from Villikun. Really get the momentum back on HAVU's side.
Absolutely. They got a bit of an offensive zone pressure right there, but again, they're still finding out that middle of the ice is going to be so hard to get to. You saw Villikun kind of recognizing that, deciding to throw one on from far distance at an odd angle, and I think we need to see a bit more of that from HAVU. Continue to test Nikke. Remember, he doesn't have the strongest save percentage throughout the course of this series. Obviously, you got the shutout in the last one, but you know, that was just from also a lot of help on the defensive side of things. So if you're HAVU here, you got to be just throwing that puck on net quickly, like you said, to prevent SAWO from getting into that collapse.
We saw how quickly a shooting chance can perhaps go into the back of the net on that goal. That one goes through the slot. In front, great pickoff by Teemu. Numbers for SAWO. Down the other way, miscommunication with Mosia and Fatu. It's to the offside.
Good aggression coming out from Sibelius right there, kind of pressuring the puck carrier, making him hesitate, and then he didn't quite have that passing lane back to the left-hand side, which put that person trying to streak in offside. So really good decision-making from the right defensive HAVU.
Right back in the attacking zone here to the point. Stelia. Hard done by the pickup animation there. HAVU forced to reset, but they are gaining the zone consistently. Just need to find that bit of space to make the most of this possession time. It's game 5 just getting underway between GOONS and Örebro. Again, GOONS had a 3-0 lead. Örebro winning game 4 to keep that series alive. It's the battle of the 4 and 5 seeds. And our top 8 teams made the playoffs. We already have 2 teams moving on. Go figure, our top 2, H-Reds and Frölunda. Will SAWO make it 3 for 3 out of the top 3 seeds to move on. Sin, we are halfway through this game. It's been a while since SAWO have scored. HAVU back to within 1. Just 6 combined shots, 3 goals.
I really think HAVU is kind of giving SAWO a bit of pause right there. They're also kind of almost kind of on the back foot right here. Obviously still pushing right here, but after that hot start and kind of that late goal from HAVU, I think SAWO's kind of, hesitating just a little bit, and HAVU continues to gain that line.
Puck down low here. Great job by Moja to win it. Better back skate, too, to hold on to it. That was fantastic. Puck in the corner, corralled by Palazzo. Sends it around the back of his own goal. Again, HAVU. Gain the attacking zone. Palazzo has it here. Dominoiti. Back to the point. Sibelius looking. Good movement here from HAVU. Can they open up a shooting lane? And again, a miscommunication leads to the puck going back. 5 minutes to play here in this second period. Again, kind of settling back down into a defensive battle here. Does benefit SAWO, obviously, at this stage. There's Palazzo. Tried to go to Nasistelia, or perhaps it was for Sibelius. Just didn't go to where he wanted it to go. But HAVU just not able to take advantage of the zone time right now. Fatu over the line. Next goal, if there is one. So important. That one back off the pads of Hanselino. He's forced into a save off a chance by Vatu. Talked about the self-inflicted wounds for HAVU. It's what led to that 2-0 lead for SAWO. Here's space again. Teemu stepping up. Vatu still fighting for it in the corner. Good job by Palazzo to win it. As we approach the final minute here of the period. Will there be another late strike for HAVU? Here's Yerska. Across. Great job there by Sibelius to get a piece of it. Final few seconds now. That pass off the mark. Loose puck. Fought on. Now Cistelia tried to go across. Shot saved. And a penalty called with 0.4 on the clock. HAVU will start the third period on the power play.
Yeah, it'll be Vatu heading to the box right there. Maybe a little bit of panic, just trying to keep people away from taking a shot so they don't suffer a similar fate right there. And HAVU will, as you said, start the next period on the power play and won't be able to do anything with this face-off play right here. But they will have a power play to start off the third period, which is, pretty good. But on the unfortunate side, you will have to start in the neutral zone, which is a bit more tricky to be able to start setting things up. We know how hard it can be to gain that line after, the puck goes out. And in this case, the puck will start out of the zone on the power play. But nonetheless, it is a man advantage, an opportunity that HAVU is going to want to capitalize on. I like the kind of the bit of flurry of chances there at the end. I would have liked to see Nasistelia shoot that puck instead of trying to pass it to the middle right there, even if it's a low shot. Everyone's going to be crashing the net right there. Maybe a bit more, just a bit more deliberate plays coming out from HAVU.
We got to look in at the 5th game of the series between GOONS and Örebro. Again, GOONS now with a 3-1 series lead. That game tied at 1 apiece in the first period. If this game 6 were to end this series between these two clubs, we'll look to join in on coverage for that one. This one goes all the way down. Third period, the last period of play that HAVU is guaranteed this season. They do start it on the man advantage and need to take advantage. Now Sustelia the shot. Good glove save there by Nike.
Real good shot right there from Nasustelli, just kind of creeping in, maybe look for a pass initially, but continue to get that space ripped and on. A quick little snapshot that Nick is able to glove down.
Big time face off here. One clean by Dominoiti. A minute to go on this power play. They need chances. Nasustelli across for Dominoiti. It's picked off. Moja trying to generate speed down the wing. Throws it in front. Now Cecilia is there to pick it off. Dominoiti back for Nasustelia. 20 seconds on this power play. Puck in front. Nike covers. Give them one more chance here off this face-off if they can win it.
I'd like to see what they have if they're going to change the face-off set. They are going aggressive right here. You see Nasustelia a bit further up, so we'll see if they have a play in mind to try to be able to capitalize on having the advantage still.
Off the draw, SAWO have it. And we are back to 5-on-5, a missed opportunity for HAVU. They're still within striking distance here. Puck down low in the corner. Yerska finds that pass to get that breakout going. 16 minutes to go. And an icing call here against HAVU.
Bit unfortunate right there, trying to hit the man in the middle, just kind of goes past him and then past everyone else all the way back down here as HAVU clock their biggest enemy right now.
Off the draw, they are in control. Over the line, Dominoiti can't get that pass through. You have to wonder when the desire for quality shots goes out the window and they perhaps look to start getting pucks on net. 13.5 to play. Good step up there by Nasustelia to get in the way. And again, it's Palanza. Time ticking down fast. Turnover there. Palanza able to keep it in. Billy Kuhn to the point. Sibelius. Nasustelia back to him. Just nothing doing. Not sensing enough urgency. 11.5 to play potentially in their season. Nasustelia doesn't get all of that one. Opens up the window of opportunity here for Yerska. Head of steam and a great job by Sibelius to take it away. Scramble for the puck. SAWO come up with it. Batu around the back of the net. Yerska now. Shot just wide by Tombu. That close. Another shot on second chance. They score! It's Vatu, his second of the game. SAWO back up by 2. And Sin, that might just do it as we're in the last half of this, or the second half of this third period. As again, SAWO just that willingness to throw more pucks on, and Vatu, the smallest gap to fit that puck through, but he found a way.
Yeah, and it's the quickness in the decision making for me that's doing it. It's before the HAVU can get set up, and that's exactly the difference in this one. HAVU's kind of taking a bit more time with it in the offensive zone, trying to see if they could get their perfect kind of setup, but that simply hasn't been there. SAWO is content to just collapse, and the second you let them get into that collapse, it's all over. You saw what happened here. It was great kind of movement all around, the perimeter. Then they opened up the middle, took a quick shot. That did work. Back to the point, another quick shot before HAVU could get adjusted to be able to shut it down. Off of Poncelino, the rebound comes out to Vatu. He puts that one home on the short side. 3-1 for SAWO. And if they can continue playing like this, they will be off to the second round here in just a few minutes' time.
8:45 on the clock. HAVU in need of 2. They scored a late goal. Again, about as late as you can be with 0.2 on the clock at the end of the first period. But could not find that follow-up goal before SAWO were able to strike it again.
Yeah, and here's HAVU really trying to have to stretch this game out. Offside right there as they try to sneak Palanza in behind the defense, and it's going to get real dicey for them, especially with how much they're going to have to kind of get out of their perhaps comfort zone and try to open this game up here. It could feed the counterattack of SAWO, but more than often than not, I think SAWO is just going to be content trying to hold this blue line.
Great poke check there by Yerska to knock it loose. SAWO, we're the 2 seed in our winter season, losing to the now defunct, we'll say, for lack of a better term, Granite Gaming. A very disappointing end to their season. HAVU losing to Frölunda in our winter season, in what was deemed essentially the closest sweep you'll ever see. And unfortunately here with 5 minutes to go and in need of 2, looking like they might fall short yet again. After coming back from 2-0 down to tie it at 2 apiece. SAWO takes game 5, 1-0, and now just a few moments away perhaps from taking this one as Hanseliner looked like he got a piece of that one. Certainly one more goal for SAWO ends it. It's not already at that stage. Here's Sibelius. Billy Kuhn. Now Sestelia, good save by Nike. Back to Nasi with the point. Tried to hurry that shot. Sibelius, Pawanso looking. Shot just wide. Now we're seeing that urgency. Penalty called against HAVU. And that will likely do it.
Yeah, that's Billy Kuhn right there. I actually didn't see it at all. You must have bumped someone, I guess. Waiting for the puck to get to him, but hard to say because we didn't get a good look at it from the replay. And nonetheless, they're in the box, and that just might do it.
Again, we were saying throughout that second period and even in the early stages of the third, it just didn't seem like there was that sense of urgency to get shots on, which was very surprising to me. And again, Nike, not exactly the strongest numbers in the series thus far, and that will do it. Moja, their third power play goal of the game, and SAWO Esports are on to the Final Four.
We talked about it a bit in the pregame. The special teams advantage clearly in favor so far of this series in SAWO, but it didn't seem to matter too much in the last 2 games. It mattered in this game. A Game 6 elimination game. HAVU got into early penalty trouble. 3 power plays for SAWO in the first, 5 minutes, and they scored 2 power play goals off it. A late one here. They put the dagger in the hearts of HAVU here with less than a minute left, needing 3 goals. I believe in miracles, but with the way SAWO has played, I don't think HAVU can grab one.
So close yet so far. As SAWO are going to win this series here in 6 games, avenging their shortcoming our winter season. And for HAVU, you know, we speculated. Wow, Jerska's just going to walk this one down. Gets the goal. Insult to injury. 5-1 SAWO.
Just a quick breakaway, and we've seen that from SAWO a lot throughout the course of this season. It's being able to pressure the points or force those turnovers at the points, and Vatu and Yerska, so much of their offense comes from that counterattack style, breakaways, 2-on-1s, etc., so forth. Even Moja in that action sometimes, as we saw on that power play, from a 2-on-1 kind of tap in there, and the wheels completely have fallen off, and SAWO, as you said, just kind of pouring more salt in the wound and putting some icing on their own cake to celebrate getting out of this first round.
And another penalty taken here at the end. You know, Sin, again, like I said, we were speculating in a sense, not wanting to drum up any sort of drama or anything, but like we said, for a team like HAVU, first round exits, that's not the goal. These are a group of guys that know that, hey, I am a good enough player on an individual level to be competing for championships. Are we good enough as a team to be at that level? And the answer, at least throughout NHL 22, has been no. You know, we have seen some teams, you know, and some players as well. We just saw it with IQ and Captain Niepi kind of mentioning his displeasure with the state of the game and whether or not he's going to take a full-time step away or not. We will find out what is next for HAVU. We know what's next for SAWO, though. They are moving on to our semifinals and the Final Four as they eliminate HAVU in 6 games.
Yeah, just a good job from SAWO. They did what needed to be done, especially in that pivotal Game 5. That was really kind of the turning point. There's been, you know, a couple different turning points, obviously, but that was kind of it. They played this incredible shutdown style, a style that had given them success against HAVU in the past, especially when you think of the regular season dating back to the winter season. And the fact of the matter was they just kept weathering the storm. They're like, all right, HAVU, take the zone time. We'll keep you to the outside. If you want to take a shot, we're going to block it, or it's, you know, Nike's going to make the save. And that's exactly what they did, weather the storm until they're able to get that 1-0 advantage on the delayed call late. And in this one here, HAVU maybe feeling that pressure a little bit, gets into penalty trouble early, and SAWO capitalizes. That's the most important thing, is that SAWO found that clutch gene in them and found the way to find that urgency. They saw the opportunity, they got urgent on those power plays, and they scored. And that's exactly something that I think was missing from their game last season when they took on Granite Gaming. They just simply like all right, here's our strategy, here's what we're gonna do, and Granite Gaming just threw it right back in their face, and it seemed like SAWO didn't know what to do. And in this one, we've seen SAWO kind of play a few different styles, and it ends up benefiting them, especially that power play production.
So there you see our updated bracket. 3 of the 4 series done as H-Reds await to see who they'll play in round 2. It'll be either Goons or Örebro Hockey, and confirm the battle of 2 versus 3 for Lunda and SAWO Esports booked for next week. One of those 2 teams will be competing in our final again, June 17th and 18th, live in Helsinki. Sen and I will be there to cover all the action, but the question is, who will H-Reds face in round 2? And we will be able to throw it over to coverage there between Goons and Örebro. As you take a look here at the situation, and Sin, I think we're just going to be able to jump right into this one. Goons up 2-1, looking to close out this series. Örebro in their home black and red, Goons in those road whites.
Yeah, and as we'll give them a pass today for the no colors or sound, as they weren't actually sure that they'd be on broadcast today. But Goons up 2-1 here, and you see Örebro really just trying to take their time throughout that neutral zone, trying to get in there and find some offense.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. 10 minutes to go in this one. Will this be the final game of the opening round? Time will tell. As Örebro in need of a goal, they do win game number 4 to get back into this one. But obviously it's in a 3-0 deficit. I mean, while not impossible, certainly improbable to come back from. This one back to the point before Wenger. He pinches in, throws one across. Second chance. Good kick save there. Eli Kamel keeping his team in it. Very similar situation to what we just saw with SAWO and HAVU, where if Goons get that next goal, odds are it's game over. Game over, series over. It's back to the point. That shot, a good save there again by Supreeks, trying to keep his team in it. This one back to the neutral zone. Örebro, 5.5 minutes to try to keep their season alive. Now 5:05 with the offside call.
It was a really nice defensive play by Leighton in there. He picked it off, and then he wasted no time, just kind of sauced it out of the zone. He's like, all right, well, if someone's going to get to it, great. But at the very least, it's out of the zone. Those are the little details that are going to propel Goons into the second round.
There's an opportunity there. Great poke check to take it away at the last moment by Migo Abuna. 4 minutes left now for Örebro to find this tying goal. Again, the winner of this series guaranteed now to play H-Reds in the next round. What a reward that is, of course. There's a huge face-off now for Örebro, again, making the playoffs as well. Not only making the playoffs, finishing as the higher seed, the 4th seed. Great chances, but Supreek standing tall, having trouble finding that puck. It's Keskatalo for Goons, who takes it away. The puck dumped into that far side. Kept in by Kriketsi. Pass off the mark. Just like that. 2 minutes to go now. A bit of contact. Jansku gets it across. Keskatalo there to take it away. Trip is called. And that might just do it for Örebro.
If they have a timeout, now's the time to use. Well, there we go. They're going to be using that timeout because they have to attack. They plain and simply have to attack. It's sub 2 minutes, almost to the 1 minute mark. It's going to be real time. They'll have more time, but they're going to be shorthanded. Those stamina bars simply won't replenish. They're really only going to have 1 or 2 chances here to get the job done. And how about Supreeks throughout the course of this series? We just saw him make a couple big saves, and he's been doing that for this Goons squad throughout this entire series, really. Obviously, kind of overshadowed at times by, the blowout, especially in game 3 that Goons were able to put on, but he has made some huge saves here. Now just 1:18 left until Goons are able to advance.
Kriketsi over for Wenger. Goons here, a minute to go. Have to play it safe defensively, but a goal would ice this game. Back for Wenger at the point, goes all the way around. Örebro need a goal or their season's done, and there it is! Backdoor pass to Keskitalo. The power play marker for Goons. And that should be enough to punch their ticket as well into the Final Four.
Just beautiful execution. You know what I like the best from Goons is that they were playing the clock right there. They worked the perimeter. They went north to south and tried to get Örebro to chase them, waste some of those stamina bars so they wouldn't be able to counterattack as efficiently there. And then, of course, you see them start to get desperate and more space opens up. The backdoor feed. Keskitalo has a near tap in, and that should do it.
And one more chance, a stop by Eli Kamel. 35 seconds to go for Örebro. Not impossible, but they have to work fast. And an offside with 31 seconds, not going to help the cause.
Absolutely not. You're going to have to see Pikari completely empty in his gas tank right there, which, of course, won't make things easier here.
So you have King of Apes already calling out that H-Reds will repeat a sweep of Goons in round 2. Of course, the rematch, yes, indeed, from last season's postseason. This one all the way back down. Of course, the two-time defending champs in H-Reds, no shortage of confidence from them, Sin, as we've come to expect. But this is a big moment here for Goons to make it to the next round again. You know, we talked about it a lot for them. That idea of, man, when they first got called up or earned promotion, they were looked at as a team with championship potential moving forward. Great saves, and there's a goal. 11.9 to go. Örebro back to within 1. Maybe we don't write the stories just yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually figure out who that is in their lineup as the names have been changed to Jimmy Cap and
I believe it was the extra attacker Compy. It was the goalie. Okay, so it was Eli Kamel who got the goal with the AI extra attacker.
I couldn't tell. It looked like blue.
There you go. 5 seconds. Örebro in the attacking zone. Can they get a shot on? No, they cannot. Goons seal the deal and win their opening round series in 5 games as the 5 seed moves on.
Wow. Great performance from Goons all the way around and a stellar job by Supremes throughout the course of the series. That cannot be understated, but I gotta say, H-Reds, the confidence is great, but this is a different Goons squad. The Goons squad from last season took you to overtime 3 times, and the one in this season is definitely vastly improved. Piku Rogers' two-way game has been outstanding. We've seen him make incredible plays to put himself on breakaways here, so I'm really excited to get to see that rematch between H-Reds and Goons. That was definitely, despite it being a sweep, an exceptionally entertaining series last season, and could be something very, very similar here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Goons at least taking a game or two off of them, despite the predictions from H-Reds, of course. But, of course, H-Reds is H-Reds at the end of the day and back-to-back champs for a reason. But that being said, Goons are going to enjoy this victory right here because they earned it, played a heck of a series here against Örebro, who had a great season nonetheless as well. But it's just Goons continue to kind of find that extra gear, that extra level when they're called upon. And that's something that you can't really teach. That's something that you can't really practice, is finding that extra level. It's just kind of a mentality that's built inside of you.
So with that, our Final Four is locked in. Let's get you a look here in a few moments at this bracket as soon as we possibly can. As again, we go now from 8 to 4. And move on to next week as Sin. I mean, you know, it's very interesting to look at this here now. H-Reds getting the job done against Conquer Gaming. Goons, the slight upset of the battle of 4 and 5. H-Reds, I mean, we knew what it would be. 12 wins to being the three-peat. They got 4 wins in the books. They take on Goons, who they did sweep in round 1 last season. But for Goons, again, like I said, they had that potential. They had that, that expectation set upon them. They finally make it here to round 2. Fortunately, it's a gigantic challenge ahead of them.
Yeah, I think, gigantic challenge to say the very least. And you know what? Again, like they were able to take that H-Reds team to overtime 3 times the last season. The problem is they weren't able to win those games, and that kind of pulls up another question. It's like, yeah, you can make it to those situations, but when it comes to the playoffs, close doesn't count. There's no pity points for getting to overtime. It's win or not, and I think Goons has made the necessary adjustments to be able to give a fighting chance. And again, the thing about Goons that I like is they always have a way to elevate their game, especially when they're playing top teams. They always seem to kind of find that extra bit of motivation when they're taking on an H-Reds or a Frölunda here in the regular season. However, H-Reds got the better of Goons quite convincingly, a matchup that we thought could have been closer given, the playoff history and how close it was in that first round last season. But wasn't quite meant to be in the regular season. We'll see how they fare in the semifinals against the two-time defending champs in H-Reds.
And of course, that other second round matchup, as well as you guys get a look there at the final results from every single quarterfinal game. But that second round matchups, and again, Frölunda and SAWO. Frölunda very much looking to get back to the finals yet again. But for SAWO now, you get that series win in the books. You move on to the semifinals for the first time. Yes, it's a very tough task, but certainly capable of potentially moving on to the finals.
Absolutely. Again, if they can, somehow find a way to beat that team, they can absolutely be there. The SAWO Frölunda series is going to be quite interesting. SAWO, if they're able to play that shutdown defensive style, they could be able to give Frölunda some fits here. And I'm not too sure. Like that one's going to be extremely interesting for me. We expect, H-Reds to be able to beat Goons, but again, Goons is kind of one of those teams where it's like there's something about them. They just seem to have one of those X factors that, again, like I said, can't really be taught. You either kind of have it or you don't.
There you go. So with that, everybody, again, the quarterfinals in the books. That will do it for our broadcasts this week. It leads up to this Sunday, the semifinals get underway. Make sure to pay attention to everything that we have going on, of course, social media-wise, SportsGamerGG, and, of course, SportsGamer.gg, the website, of course, to keep up to date with everything that we have going on here. We thank you for joining us for what has been a bit of an abbreviated broadcast for once. Not too often, Sin and I get a short day here, but in a way we're thankful for it, but also in a sense I wouldn't have been opposed to covering a few Game 7s today, but we know the Final Four. We are that much closer to finding out the two teams that will be competing in our Spring Division Final again on June 17th and 18th, live from Helsinki. We'll both be there. Wilhelm snacks in hand, of course, covering what will be, I'm sure, a final to remember. And, of course, if necessary, the grand final as well. The battle between the two season winners would be on that follow-up Sunday as well. We'll see what happens, but for now, we are done here. A big thank you to everybody behind the scenes that helps make this what it is. Congratulations to our 4 teams, of course, making it into the Final Four, and we will see you guys on Sunday as the second round gets underway.